like totally restore, but like not too powering. Okay, let's do it. So let's start laying down on our backs. And as you lay down, it might feel really good to just stretch in your own way. So maybe you want to take your arms long, legs long. Oh, maybe there's some other way you want to explore. Maybe you want to draw your knees in, or even just roll out your wrists. Give yourself a little temple massage or forehead massage. So anything goes, anything that feels good. And then we'll come to rest in what's called constructive rest pose. So feet on the ground with your knees bent, feet a little bit wider than your hips. And just let your knees kind of fall in. They don't have to touch each other. They can if that's what naturally happens, but feet wide and the knees fall in. And you choose with your arms. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. You can extend your arms out to both sides. And cactus your arms against the ground, or even rest them just right down by your side. So whatever feels just resonant for you today. Close your eyes if you haven't already. And let's take 3 really big intentional breaths together. So next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can. Hold, pause, maybe even take an extra little sip at the top. And then big, huge sigh out your mouth, let it go. 2 more like that. Inhale, fill up. Hold at the top. See if there's any more air you can just sip in, extra teaspoon. And big open mouth sigh. When you're ready, let it go. One more time like that. Inhale, fill up. Pause. Let that breath circulate around. Hold a little bit longer than you want to, a little bit longer than is comfortable. And then open your mouth and let it go. Start to drop into Ujjayi now. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And create that whisper noise, that oceanic sound with your breath. Slow, steady, smooth. And then with this connection to your breath, slow and steady, draw your knees in towards your belly. You can grab your kneecaps, you can grab the backs of your thighs, you can grab your shins, and just little rock from side to side. If you want, you can even take your knees in different directions, take them apart, kind of getting into your hips a bit more. And then eventually just set your left foot back on the ground with your knee bent and extend your right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Flex your toes back, grab behind your right thigh. So bend your knee as much as you need to so that you can keep a neutral spine. So don't lift your head or your shoulders. Keep a nice neutral spine. Bend your knee as much as needed and then press up through your heel. Flex your toes back. So really, really pressing up through your heel, flexing through your toes, even your little baby pinky toe, and have the intention of trying to get your right thigh, your quad muscle, to fire up. Back of your right hip stays rooted down. If you would like, you can extend your left leg forward. Now imagine there is a heavy sandbag on top of your left thigh. If you can keep your spine in neutral and walk your hands further up the length of your leg, go for it. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths right here. And then we're going to turn this into a half happy baby. So bring a bend into your right knee, reach up, grab hold of your right foot. I like the outer edge. You can go for the inner edge or peace fingers around big toe. Hold down with your right arm, press up through your right heel, flex your toes back and active. Breathe down into your belly. Imagine there is a heavy sandbag on top of your left thigh if your left leg is extended. Keep your spine in neutral. Take about 2 more deep breaths all the way down into your hips and your groin. And then release your right foot, and we're just gonna turn this into a twist. So right arm out to the right, you can keep a bend in your right knee, and then roll over onto your left side. You might have to shift around on your hips a little bit. Try to find a nice long line from right shoulder down to your right hip, and breathe into that space. Gaze up or over your right shoulder, and try not to let your right ear shrug up towards your right shoulder. Keep it down. I forgot, Scott, you have your hamstring injury, so hopefully this will feel relatively okay and good on it. Not too intense. Not this pose, just this whole class. All right, take about 2 more rounds, just chilling in your twist, melting with each exhale a little bit more. And then let's slowly come back to neutral. So kind of adjust as needed to get your hips back in line with your shoulders. Hug your knees in, gentle rock from side to side. And again, you can move your knees in different directions if you'd like. You can circle your sacrum, kind of trace the outline of your sacrum against the ground. And then as you are ready, let's bring our right foot down with our knee bent, extend your left leg straight up. Flex your toes, press through your heel, bend your knee as much as you need to. So I would much rather see you with a bent knee and pressing through your heels, flexing your toes, than a straight leg and your legs like extending forward and there's no activation. So it's going to be a lot more productive if you can find first the right alignment so you're getting what you want to out of the posture. Draw the back of your left hip down. So it's like you're plugging the femur bone down into the socket. If you want at any time, right leg can slide forward. And if it's accessible to you, you can walk your hands further up the length of your left leg. Just make sure you stay with a neutral spine position. You're not rounding. Flex your toes, press through your heel. Imagine you're trying to squeeze your left quad. Take a couple more rounds right here. And then when you're ready, just turn it into your half happy baby. So bend your knee, reach up, grab hold of your foot, and work your half happy baby for a moment. Keep your neutral spine, and if your right leg is extended, still imagine that heavy sandbag on top of your thigh. Couple more deep breaths. And when you're ready, move into your twist. So release your left foot. You can keep a little bend in your left knee, maybe scoot your hips over to the left a bit, then roll over onto your right side. Adjust as needed. Open through the front of your heart, front of your shoulders, broad through your collarbones. Breathe down into your belly. Good job, you guys. Let's take 2, maybe 3 more rounds. Soften with your exhales. Melt into it. And then ease your way back to neutral. Adjust as needed, so hips back in line with shoulders, hug your knees in, take that little rock for just a moment. And then after a few rocks, full happy baby pose. So maybe you want to rock for a moment in happy baby. Maybe you want to extend through one leg or both legs. Eventually release from your happy baby and just find your way up into a seat. I'm going to rock and roll my way up. You can get there however you want to. comfortable seated position for a moment. So if that means you're sitting on a block or bolster or blanket or anything you've got at your house, please feel free, do what you got to do to be comfortable. Sit up tall, feel rooted through your sit bones, and then long through your spine, drop through the crown of your head. Just rest your hands somewhere in your lap or on your legs, exhale in your breath. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, take a twist to your right. Right hand comes down behind you, left hand to the outside of right knee or thigh. Sit up tall. And I didn't really mention, you can have your legs however you want. You can be cross-legged, you can be kneeling, whatever works best. Maybe gaze back over your right shoulder, breathe down into your belly. One more round here. And then slowly unwind back to center. If you are sitting cross-legged or an easy pose like me, switch your legs so the opposite leg is in front. And then arms just relax down, exhale, inhale to reach up and stretch. Exhale to twist to the other side. So twisting to your left or just whichever side you didn't do before. Sit up tall, broaden through the front of your shoulders, gaze back over left shoulder and breathe. Breathe all the way down, big and spacious. Couple more, just like that. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to work your twist from the inside out. And then ever so slowly, bottom of your next exhale, unwind. Come back to center. And just for a moment, bring your hands behind you. So if you are sitting up on something, you may be okay. You may want to come off of it. Hands behind you. Lift your fingertips and roll your shoulders back. Lift your heart. So just a little seated back bend, seated heart opener. Breathe into your heart space, pop up through your chest. See if you can feel your big inhales all the way down in your belly. And end of your next exhale, release. Come through a neutral spine, forward to hands and knees. So find the tabletop position. I'm gonna flip around just because I like to look out my window. All right, so from your from your tabletop, start to move through some cat cows. Inhale to arch and exhale to round. And feel free to bring any little bits of intuition or creativity into this. So if you want to move in different ways, maybe your hips go side to side, maybe your elbows bend, feel free, get curious. For years and years and years, I would just do regular cat cows and I didn't even realize all the different ways my spine could move. As I even just go back and forth through cat cows, there's lots of different things to feel. So really pay attention. And then in your next, let's say 3 to 5 breaths, don't hurry. Find your way back to our first down dog. And in your dog pose, keep feeling around. So maybe you want to pedal out your heels or kind of shift your hips side to side. You might give your head a shake or a nod. Feel into the length from your fingertips up to your sit bones. Maybe the length in the backs of your legs, or maybe today it feels much better to just bend your knees, and that's totally fine. So please make this pose work for your body rather than cranking your body into a position that nothing good is coming out of. Defeating the whole purpose of yoga. Take one more big inhale into your down dog. And then as you exhale, just slowly walk your hands back to the back of your mat. So eventually you'll be in a forward fold at the back of your mat. All the weight in your feet. Make sure your feet are at least hips width distance apart, maybe even a little wider. All of your toes face forward, and then find a halfway lift position. Breathe in. Exhale, bow, and fold. Again, like that, halfway lift. Stick your butt out, reach the top of your head forward. Exhale, fold. We're gonna let our arms and our head hang, roll up super, super slowly, one vertebra at a time. Slow, 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 slow. At the very, very top, your head stacks. And then maybe once your head stacks, you roll your shoulders out a couple times. Eventually, just stand in your mountain pose, back edge of your mat, palms open, shoulders broad, spine neutral, pelvis neutral, or as close to neutral as you can get. Feel that from the inside. Feel your breath. Exhale all the way to empty. Ujjayi, inhale, reach up and stretch. Slow swan dive. So maybe a bend in your knees as you slowly dive down into your full halfway lift position. Breathe in. And then from here, plant your hands or your fingertips and just crawl forward slowly and mindfully, coming into plank pose. Top of your mat, plank pose. So press into your hands, spread your fingers, big inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, lower down slowly. Let's find Spider-Man Cobra. So hands nice and wide, lift to fingertips, elbows face the sky. Inhale, lift your hearts. Exhale, little twist to your right, dip your left shoulder down. Inhale, back up through center. Other side as you exhale, little twist. Inhale, back to center, heart lifts, belly tones. And release it down, exhale. Tabletop hands and knees. Thread the needle, option to extend your left leg out to the left with your toes facing forward. Only an option, you don't have to take it. Right arm out to the right, all the way up to the sky, inhale. And then with your exhale, thread your right arm through as far as you can, and then come down to rest ever so gently outside of your shoulder, outside of your head. Big spacious breaths. Any variation you want to take, please feel free. So explore if you want. Notice what's there to be felt. Breathe into all the little spaces. About 3 more breaths. If you happen to have your left hand lifted, bring your left hand back down. On an inhalation, unthread your right arm and reach it out and up. As high as you can. Exhale, set your right hand down. Pick up your left foot and swing your left leg off the right side of your mat. Tuck your toes under, push them into the ground. Pull your hips to the left, gaze back. Look at your right tip, or excuse me, look at your tiptoes behind you, your left tiptoes. So you're gazing over your right shoulder, lengthening to your left side. Breathe into your left side, 1 more round. Feels so good. And then come back, tabletop, hands and knees. Downward facing dog pose. Let's inhale our right leg up. And then open up your hip, bend your knee, peel your hip open, feel that nice opening. Active through your right foot, strong through your hands, press through your fingertips. 1 more in-breath here. As you exhale, slowly, mindfully, right foot steps through the top of your space, low lunge. And then we're gonna bring our hands to the inside of our right foot. Walk your right foot out to the width of your mat, maybe even forward a little bit. Back knee can stay lifted or come down. I'm gonna bring mine down. Start to lower your upper body closer towards the earth. So try not to collapse over to the left, but keep encouraging your weight over to the right. If you wanna pivot your right toes out, or if you wanna roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, or cat grabs its tail, which I'm showing right now, is also an option if you wanna take it if it's in your practice. Feel free to go there. So anywhere you want to be in this pose, with this pose, for about 3 to 5 more breaths. If it's uncomfortable, let it be uncomfortable. Breathe into that, soften around that. You can stay up on your hands, absolutely fine. One last round, open mouth sigh if you want it. And then come back to your hands if you're not already there. Bring your right foot back to midline so you're framing it. Lift your back knee up if it's on the ground, and then move into a pyramid stance with your legs. So I like my feet on 2 train tracks, all of my toes face forward. Halfway lift, inhale, and then press into your feet and rise all the way up to stand. So take a moment and just look down, see that your hips are square. They're straight across from one another. So adjust your feet if needed. Arms to the sky, breathe in. As you exhale, twist to your right, left arm forward, right arm back. Pull your right hip back, squeeze through your inner thighs. Twist from your center, keep standing tall, one more breath. Keep your legs as they are, unwind, arms reach, inhale, and then on your exhale, slow dive down. Pull your right hip back as you reach your heart forward, and then finally bow in. You're welcome to use blocks under your hands to bend your front knee if you need to, but keep pulling your right hip back and lifting your right butt cheek up. Keep pressing into the inner edge of your right foot. Breathe all the way down into the back of your right leg. Nice job, you guys. Take about 3 more rounds, just being with this posture, allowing yourself to feel, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's intense, breathe into it, soften around it. Last big breath. And then just step nice and easy. Your back foot forward, forward fold, top of your mat. Halfway lift position, inhale. Exhale, bow and fold. Root through your feet and rise all the way up. Big stretch at the top. Hands to heart with your exhalation. Arms to the sky, breathe in. Side body stretch to your right, make it your own. So maybe you grab your wrist, maybe you right hand to hip, inhale back to center, other side as you exhale to your left. Again, your own variation, your own expression. Back through center, inhale. And then slow dive with your exhale all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, feet back. You take your vinyasa however you would like. You can always skip it as well. Meet you in tabletop position, hands and knees. So from tabletop, this time, option to extend right leg out to the right, toes face forward, press down through the sole of your foot. Left arm out to the left and all the way out to the sky. Inhale, and then with your exhale, thread it through. So remember, reach, 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 then come down. Rest on the outside of your shoulder, outside of your head, and take it anywhere you want on this side. It does not necessarily have to be where you went on the other side. We always want to even ourselves out. That's like, just kind of like how we are, I think. We feel like we have to be even. But truly, both of our different sides are very different already. They probably need different things. So rather than just being in the habit of evening everything out on both sides, feel what's there. One side is probably different and needs something just a little bit different. If you have your right hand lifted, you're going to bring your right hand back to the ground. And then on an inhalation, unthread your left arm, reach it out and up one more time. Left hand down, pick up your right leg and swing your toes off the left side of your mat. And then gaze back over your left shoulder, look back at your toes. Lengthen through your right side, kind of lean into it or explore it however you want. Make it feel good. This should feel good. And then back to tabletop and back to downward facing dog. Walk it out for a moment. Find your Ujjayi breath. Reconnect. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Feel your hip open, bend your knee, stack left hip on top of right. So stay and just feel this nice stretch, this nice opening in the front of your left hip. Stay rooted through your hands, active through your left foot, one more in-breath. And then soft and slow, exhale, left foot to the top of your space, low lunge. Bring your hands to the inside of left foot, walk your left foot out nice and wide, maybe even forward a little bit, so you're giving your legs plenty of space. And then option to bring back knee down, start to lower your upper body towards the ground. If that's not gonna happen for you, I sometimes like to let my hips drop down as I lift my heart and look forward. You can get a lot out of that as well. So you do you. If you wanna go for cat grabs its tail. A few more rounds of breath wherever you are at. Again, this side might be totally different than the other side. Feel into those differences. Soften where you can soften through your face, through your shoulders. Big spacious breath, last couple. And then if you're down on your forearms, come back up to your hands. Everybody walk your left foot back to midline, so you're framing it. Pick up your back knee, and then pyramid stance. Step forward. Again, I lay my feet on 2 train tracks with all of my toes facing forward. Halfway lift on an in-breath, and then as you press into your feet, rise all the way up. Stand up. Take a look down at your hips. Fix my shorts. So hips square, adjust if needed. Inhale, arms reach up. Twist to your left side, right arm forward, left arm back. Squeeze through your inner thighs. You don't want to bend your back knee, so keep both feet rooted, both legs strong. Just squeeze your inner thighs, press through your feet, broaden through the front of your shoulders, reach through your fingertips. Last breath here. Inhale, unwind, keep your legs the same, so keep squeezing through inner thighs, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Pull your left hip back and lift your left butt cheek up, up, up as you dive forward and down. Be in your pyramid pose for a few rounds. You can have your hands on blocks, hands on the ground. Stay rooted through the inner edge of your left foot. Pull your left butt cheek back and up. Yay, Marleya and Wendy and Laura all joined us. Yippee. We're soft flowing today, you guys, if you didn't notice. Soft flow is what the teacher chose. All right, so give yourself 1 or 2 more rounds, working into your fold, working that length in the back of your left thigh. Try to engage through your left quad, squeeze, get those muscles to fire. End of your next exhale, just nice and easy. Step forward, forward fold. Nice work, friends. Halfway lift on an in-breath. Exhale, let it go. Press into your feet, lead with your heart all the way to stand. Arms reach up, stretch it out. And hands to heart center, exhale. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands behind your back. Imagine you're about to place them into your back pockets. If that bothers your wrist, you can wrap your fingers around your waist with them facing in. You can also make fists. So whatever works best for you. Roll your shoulders back and down. Try to point your elbows straight back behind you. Hug an invisible block with your inner thighs, and then start to press your hands forward into your hips, but then press your hips back into your hands. Feel a tone in your belly, tone in your glutes. Keep hugging in with your inner thighs. Start to curl open through your mid and upper back. So your heart's opening by using the mobility in your mid and upper back. Try not to just let your head collapse. Keep pressing hands into hips, hips back into hands. Keep breathing down into your belly. Take 1 more full breath. See if you can pump up through your chest a little more. Slowly come through a neutral spine. You can reach your arms up if you want to. And then bend your knees, hands to the tops of your thighs, wrap your fingers in. Make sure your feet are at least hip-width distance. Cat cow. So standing cat cows, or even standing little circles through your torso, whatever would feel good, just neutralizing your spine after that great big back bend. And then as you are ready, no rush, friends, all the way down into your forward fold. Hang out there for a moment. Breathe. Sorry, I picked a scab on the back of my leg and started bleeding. Halfway lift position, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back. And then on your own, vinyasa, or if you'd rather skip it, totally fine with me. Let's end up this time in a child's pose or hero's pose, seated meditation, seated kneeling position. Big deep breaths into your low belly, low back. And then in your next couple rounds, downward facing dog. Okie doke. Pigeon pose, right leg to the sky, inhale. Right shin forward as you exhale and gently set your body down. If you want to take this in a seat or on your back instead, please feel free. Take your time to set yourself up really intentionally. Pull your right hip back. So we're pulling our right hip back just like we did in our pyramid pose. Right hip back, right sit bone up as we take our heart forward and down. Once you're bowing, if you want to go deeper, all you have to do is scoot your back knee back a little further, kind of lengthening through your legs. We'll be here for about 7 to 10 rounds. So you might not want to go 100% right at the beginning, but let yourself slowly settle in. About 3 or 4 more breaths. Open your mouth and give it a big sigh anytime. Slowly begin to lift your upper body. We're going to come into a seated position. So just ease your way over onto your right butt cheek. Let your hips open. Swing your left leg around. Once both legs are out in front of you, give them a gentle shake out. And then let's bring the sole of our right foot to our left inner thigh. Open your hips up so you're not squaring them towards your extended leg. You're allowing them to open. Sit up tall, leg presses into foot presses into leg. Right arm reaches up, left hand can rest on left thigh or in front of your left leg. Inhale here, get tall, press foot into leg, leg into foot, flex your left toes back. Exhale, side body stretch, so reach up and over. Where's the front edge of your mat? Keep your heart open as if you're trying to let it look up. It wants to look up at the sky. Keep pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. Keep flexing your left toes. Press down to your left heel. And imagine you're trying to press down also through the back of your left thigh. Engage your left quad, get those muscles to fire up and squeeze. Couple more breaths into your right side body. And then next inhale, back up, both arms up. Exhale, bring your right hand down behind you, fingers face away. This can be enough. If this is where you want to stay, just lift your heart, perfect. Otherwise, press into your right hand, your left heel, lift your hips. You can work down through your left foot once you kind of get your hips up in the air, and then work your pose into modified wild thing, modified side plank, whichever one you like, just length, space. That's what we're looking for. One last great big breath. Now listen, end of your exhale, come back down into that same position with your legs. And it's like a ninja move. You're gonna sweep your left arm forward, all the way around, sweep your right arm forward, grab your left foot. Now you are in a forward fold. If that didn't work for you, if you're like, I didn't know what the heck you were talking about, maybe you try it again, you come back up and you're like, ninja, reach, fold. So feel free to try it as many times as you want or come into it in your own way. Pull your left butt cheek back. Reach your heart forward, forehead toward chin, nose toward knee. Keep pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. Keep flexing your left toes and try to press down through the back of your left thigh. It probably won't happen, but have that intention. Last couple big deep breaths here. Good job, friends. This one, we're just gonna roll up really, really slow, 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 slow. That is the last thing to lift. Extend your right leg out next to left. Give your legs just a nice little shake out as you lean back. And if you want, a couple windshield wipers might feel real nice. However you want to get there. Next few breaths. Meet you back in downward facing dog. Move through vinyasa if you want. Does not have to be fancy. Can be if you want it to be. Be playful if you want it to be. So you're back in downward facing dog, and then just walk it out, reconnect to your Ujjayi breath. All right, pigeon on the left, inhale left leg high. Left shin to the top of your space, gently bring your body down. And you know the drill, if you want to take this on your back or a seat, always that is your choice. Take your time to find what we call the integrity of the pose first. So plug the left femur bone into the hip socket, keep pulling your left hip back, drawing your left sit bone up even. Same as you did in pyramid pose, same idea. Big spacious breaths. Think about 4 or 5 more. Open mouth exhales, welcome at any time. Take your last big, huge, full body breath in your pigeon. And then start to transition again, mindfully, into a seat. So swing your right leg around, and once it's there, both legs out in front of you, gentle shake out. Set up for a side body stretch in a seated tree pose position. So sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Let your hips open rather than squaring them forward. So that's later after we do our ninja move, remember? Okay. Sit up tall, left arm up. Right hand can rest on right thigh or in front of right leg. Flex your right toes. Inhale. As you exhale, up and over. Left side really long. Right hand can slide down your right leg. So whatever feels best. Sometimes I like to bring my right forearm inside my leg and press my forearm into my leg back into my forearm. That kind of helps me open my heart a bit more, keeps me hugging towards midline. Keep flexing your right toes, press through the back of your right heel and try to press through the back of your right thigh, getting your quad again to fire. Last couple breaths. And then rise up, both arms up. Inhale here, and as you exhale, left hand comes down. You can stay here and just look up, open your heart, or lift up. Really long through your right side body. You can turn it into a modified wild thing. Open your heart up more if you'd like. It's up to you, but we're going for space and length. One last round. Ready for our ninja move? End of your exhale, sit bones come down. Reach your right arm forward, sweep it forward, left arm follows, and grab your right hand. Or grab your right foot with your left hand. Right hand somewhere behind you. You can kind of use your right fingertips, push them against the ground, use them as leverage. Work your upper body forward. Pull your right butt cheek back, back, back as you reach your heart forward. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. Press down through the back of your right heel and try to press down through the back of your right thigh. Engage through your right quad. Last couple breaths. Slow roll up at the bottom of your next exhalation. Slow, 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 slow. Head comes up very last. Once your head arrives, left leg extends forward, shake it out gently. Go all the way down. All the way down onto our backs. Draw your knees in, gentle rock from side to side. Feet on the ground with knees bent, feet wider than hips, feet mat width distance apart. Tee out your arms or cactus your arms, both knees over to the right. Hold here for about 5 breaths. Option to bring outer edge of right foot to the outside of left knee if you would like to. Have the intention of keeping the back of your left rib cage down. It will probably lift a little bit, but that's okay. Intention is to press down through the back of your left ribs and breathe. When you're ready, switch slowly over to the other side. Same option if you want, outer left foot, outside right knee. When you feel pretty even on both sides, I'll leave it up to you, no rush. Just come back to center, and like we did at the very beginning of our practice, constructive rest pose, feet wide, knees fall in. And whatever you want to do with your arms, I'm bringing one hand to my heart, one hand to my belly. And just close your eyes once you're there. Just rest, breathe. Send your breath down into your pelvis, down into your hips. Notice sensations, notice your thoughts as they come and go. Notice the rise and fall of your own breath. Weight of your body against the ground. I'm going to stay here because this feels really good to me, and it's kind of opposite of my natural way of being. My natural way is just letting my hips open, and that's really easy for me. So this is just counter to that. I'm going to stay here. You can stay here if you want, or you can go into the counter pose, which would be feet together, knees apart. So just letting your hips now open. And again, this is a position for me that's just super easy, natural. So I'm going to stick with feet together, knees apart, or feet apart, knees together. So if you've ever watched me, you guys probably don't notice, but I walk like a duck. I have my toes turned out, my heels in. So this, it is counterbalancing that action. It's rotating my femur bones inward, internally. It's like I'm in a pigeon-toed position when I'm here. So I'm just taking time to let my body kind of settle into this place and breathe. If you walk pigeon-toed, then probably feet together, knees apart is a really good counter pose for you. So that's what yoga is about. It's not just about doing the poses, just to do the poses, but to learn how to get benefit for your body out of every pose. And maybe sometimes there's a pose that you're like, this one actually isn't good for my body. I already have too much of that. And you opt out, or you do your own thing. And that's part of your practice, part of feeling into your own inner space and learning how to conversate with your inner world, how to form a relationship with your body. And it's a relationship. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes work. It's energy. But it is so fulfilling and rewarding what you get out of it. The more you put in, the more you get out. And that's almost always how it goes. All right, from wherever you're at, you guys, let's move into one final inversion. So that's up to you. I'm actually feeling like I'm going to do a headstand today. So maybe you want to do a headstand. You can use the wall at home. Maybe you want to do plow. Maybe you want a bridge or even a supported bridge. Maybe you want a handstand against the wall. So inversion for about 7 to 10 breaths. And if it's a couple different inversions, a couple separate ones, that's totally fine as well. And after your inversion, again, no rush, take your time. But if there are any other finishing poses, maybe a happy baby, maybe just one more full body stretch, maybe you want one last heart opener, quick bridge pose or fish pose or anything to open through your front body. Anything else that is calling to you today, and then start transitioning finally into your Shavasana, your final relaxation, final resting pose. And traditionally, the whole entire practice is intended to set us up for Shavasana, to get our bodies more relaxed, our minds a little more still, so that we can just relax finally and rest. So as you're ready, your breath can just become effortless. The body can really give in to gravity. And as you just really allow yourself to settle in, my thought for you today is simple. It says, be happy on purpose. Go outside, stretch, read a book, call a friend, meditate, write in a journal, drink water, eat good food, breathe, learn something new, express gratitude, chase the sun, dance, create magic. So just all these reminders of joy, happiness, being happy on purpose by living more intentionally, by choosing how we show up more intentionally, by showing up from a more connected place, more authentic and honest place, taking time to connect to ourselves and what's going on inside of us. So these last few moments are yours. Just feel, to notice, to be with yourself. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Slowly wiggle through fingers, toes, just bring little movements back into your body. As you feel ready, roll to either side, fetal position. Give yourself a few breaths, just resting on your side body. Be happy on purpose. Go outside, stretch, read a book, call a friend, meditate, write in your journal, drink water, eat good food, breathe, learn something new, express gratitude, chase the sun, dance, create magic. Use the strength in your arms to guide yourself up to seated meditation, just to close our practice. Close your eyes and gather your hands to your own heart. Bow your head to your own heart and acknowledge yourself. Express gratitude to yourself for making the effort, taking the time to show up on your mat, to be more intentional, to breathe deeply, to meditate, to notice, to feel. Thank you so much for letting me guide you today. Namaste. All right, lovey-doveys. Thank you. Happy you guys popped on.
Thanks, Katie.
You're so welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
Guys, you're welcome.